Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Corey McNeil, Robert Paris, BNEWS weatherman Peter Brown, Matt DiMarzio with sports, and Ian Casciola with the Community Bulletin Board. Thank you for joining us. A Burlington man was arrested this past Saturday after allegedly attacking a bus driver and damaging the vehicle. According to the MBTA Transit Police, at approximately 3:30 p.m. on October 22nd, an officer assigned to the North District received a radio call to respond to the Middlesex Turnpike in Burlington for a report of an MBTA bus operator who was assaulted. The bus driver said that a male, later identified as Daniel Kulik, 21 of Burlington, had boarded the bus at the Alewife station. While traveling through the Burlington Mall area, he told the bus driver that he wanted to exit the bus. Authorities say the driver explained that he could not stop the bus in between stops, but assured Kulik he could stop at the next stop, which was less than a minute away. At this time, police say Kulik began screaming at the operator and kicking and breaking the doors and windows of the bus. Kulik then physically attacked the operator by grabbing him by the throat and screaming, "Do you want to die?" Subsequently, Kulik relinquished his grip on the victim's neck and fled off the bus. Authorities say that Kulik was arrested after he returned to the scene of the alleged crime, to retrieve his cell phone, which he had left behind when he fled. Kulik was charged with aggravated assault and battery, threats to commit a crime, and malicious destruction of property. He was transported to Transit Police Headquarters for the arrest booking process and was to be arraigned sometime on Monday. For the first time in Massachusetts history, voters can go to the polls early to cast their ballots. BNews Director Rich Hosford went to Town Hall to see how the first few days of the early voting had gone. He files this report.
It's shortly before 5 p.m. on a Wednesday, and the normally quiet parking lot at Town Hall is nearly full. The reason is explained by these signs, which you have likely seen around town. For the first time ever, Massachusetts voters have the option to vote early in this presidential election. And according to Town Clerk Amy Warfield, voters are taking advantage of the opportunity to cast their ballots early and put the election behind them. As of the afternoon of the third day, 1,700 Burlington residents had already voted.
Well, this is higher than I expected for at least the first 3 days. We're currently at about 10% of our voters have voted early. I was projecting that we'd be doing about 25 to 30%, so we still have 7 more days of early voting. So it'll be interesting to see how much higher we get than the 10% we currently have.
Warfield said early voting has been going smoothly with an occasional line or question about the process.
A little bit of wait from time to time. The longest line I've ever seen, we had about 10 people, but most people are really pleased with the fact about how quickly they're moving through. They like the easy process. There are some steps that are involved. You do have to fill out an envelope to put your ballot in, because that's how we take them over to the polls. So just some questions about why am I filling this out, but that once they understand what the process is, they're just really enjoying it and thinking that it's very useful to them.
Behind the scenes, early voting has led to an uptick in work in the town clerk's office.
Well, it is putting a lot more work into the office because we have to track those ballots just like they were absentee ballots. So currently, the biggest presidential I had ever done, we had about 1,600 absentee ballots. So this is going to be a lot more of that work ahead of time. But that's also going to reflect then on the election day that those people don't have to be coming out and fighting the traffic.
Warfield said she thought the extra work was worth it because it allows residents more opportunities to vote in an important election that is likely to see very high voter turnout.
I'm hoping 4 years ago we hit 85%. I'm hoping to at least tie that or maybe beat that. And again, with early voting, with a lot of people showing up early, I think we have a good chance of doing that.
I spoke to some residents who had cast ballots to ask them about their experience with early voting.
I thought it was wonderful. It was very easy and convenient and much better than trying to rush on Tuesday.
It was very convenient. There was no line. Just walk in, a few minutes, and you're done. It beats going and parking in the parking lot at the high school and walking all the way down. So the convenience factor was big.
I thought it was a wonderful thing to be able to vote early. It helps accommodate to people's schedules, so hopefully it'll bring out more voters.
That's right. Yeah.
I do too. I agree with that. Coming like right after work and just coming to get to vote, as opposed to waiting in line on the voting day, the one day. Yeah. So we thought this was great.
Finally, all ballots cast in early voting are final. There is no chance to change your vote if you change your mind. I asked voters if they felt confident they had all the information they needed to vote early.
I was confident in that I had all the information I needed, yes.
No, I feel pretty confident about my decision, so I feel good, and I was eager to vote and ready to get it done and do it.
I feel the same too. I'm very confident. I wouldn't change my mind. No.
For those interested in casting a ballot now, early voting continues next week from October 31st to November 4th. At Burlington Town Hall, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
Okay, to reiterate, as said in the video, early voting continues from October 31st to November 4th. You can find the full schedule for early voting at www.burlington.org. Burlington Youth and Family Services Director Christine Shruhan and Police Chief Michael Kent were at the Board of Selectmen meeting on Monday to explain their concerns over Massachusetts ballot question 4, which if voted for would legalize the use of marijuana for everyone over the age of 21. Shruhan said that first and foremost, she was worried about children and teens getting a hold of it and using it. Specifically, she raised concerns about edibles, which have become popular, and said that because of their potency, children could get a dangerous dose of THC, the active ingredient in marijuana. Chief Kent also raised a number of concerns. The first was impaired driving. He said there are only 50 police officers in the state trained at identifying when drivers are operating under the influence of marijuana. Also, unlike alcohol, there is no breathalyzer that works to get an accurate measure of how much under the influence someone might be. Kent also said he didn't believe legalizing marijuana would eliminate the black market sales. He said people would undercut the legal shops by selling on the streets. Also, because people will be allowed to have 12 plants in their houses, he said it was possible for them to sell what they grow. This was a long and involved discussion, and you can read more of the details at www.bcattv.org/bnews. A proposed affordable housing project in town took a big step forward at the Board of Selectmen meeting on Monday night. The board voted 5-0-0 to approve the concept of a friendly 40B affordable housing project at the Burlington Corporate Center off of Cambridge Street. The project, if approved, will be a 270-unit rental complex with a combination of 1, 2, and 3-bedroom units. 25% of the units will be affordable under state guidelines, but because 25% is a magic number for the state, Burlington will be able to put all 270 units toward its affordable housing percentage, but only for a period of time. That percentage is important and driving factor behind why the town is considering 40B projects. Under Massachusetts law, a town must have at least 10% affordable housing in order to meet the 40B requirement. If a town falls below 10%, it loses a lot of the power it has if a developer comes in and wants to build an affordable housing project. The biggest concern raised at the meeting is that the town could lose a lot of the control it has where an affordable housing project might be built, where it might be built. Currently, Burlington has 10.4% affordable housing, though there is fear the number will drop when the census is reevaluated during the 2020 census. This concern was also used in the previous 40B project that was passed. With the board's vote, the project will now go to the ZBA for review for all necessary board, department, and committee approvals. After that, the plan must be approved by the state before going back to the Zoning Board of Appeals for final approval. This will avoid town meeting. Also, as part of the agreement, the Davis Company would make a $600,000 gift to the town that will be used for future affordable housing programs. One program highlighted in the discussion was addressing senior citizens who make too much to qualify for traditional affordable housing, but not enough to afford market rates. The Burlington Fire Department welcomed a new member Monday night. Town Administrator John Petrin appointed Michael Morgan, a Burlington resident and member of the Burlington High School class of 2007, to the department at the recommendation of Chief Steve Yetman and Assistant Chief Mike Patterson. Morgan was chosen from a pool of 6 candidates sent in by the Civil Service to fill one vacancy in the department. After an extensive interview process and background check, he was chosen for the position. Yetman said Morgan spent 5 years in the U.S. Army, and his latest assignment was with Special Operations with the 75th Ranger Regiment, where he had earned the rank of sergeant. He was also a certified military EMT and is currently working on obtaining his Mass EMT certification. Town Administrator Petrin said he thought Morgan would be a great fit for the department and for the community. Halloween is right around the corner, and to help ensure all the little monsters are safe during the holiday, our own Robert Paris went to the Burlington Police Department to get some safety tips. He has this report.
Halloween is just around the corner. Most importantly is the safety of our children on Halloween night. Last week I went down to the Burlington Police Department to discuss tips on how to be safe during Halloween with Officer Scipiletti. One thing to be aware of is making sure your child's costume can be visible to others.
Costumes and visibility. First, let's go with visibility. Kids have to be seen. Drivers are going a little too fast sometimes, they're distracted, so we want to make sure that kids are wearing something that's really bright, that doesn't impede the way they walk down the street. And as far as visibility for the children themselves or masks, you know, if you can stay away from something on the face, do it. You know, that's the best thing to do. If you're going to wear some type of a mask on your face, something that the eyes can clearly see out, that the mouth has wide openings, so the visibility of the child as well is important and not compromised.
Parents should always watch their children, especially if there's ongoing traffic.
Traffic safety tips for drivers. Let's start with that. Slow down. It's dark out. Hopefully it's not wet, but if it is, the leaves get slippery, so it's easy to miss a child on the side of the road, so always lower your speed. As far as parents, leave your porch lights on. You know, the visibility really helps. The light shines out onto the road. It's really much safer that way, so additional lighting is huge for us. Anything that's on the sidewalk, get rid of, pull in if you can for the day. Any types of barrels, things like that, just to keep it unimpeded for the children that are crossing. And then for the trick-or-treaters, common sense, basic safety. Looking both ways before they cross the street, not running across the street. It's an exciting time. We want the kids to have fun, but they have to be safe as well.
To make sure your child has a safe and fun Halloween, make sure to always check their candy.
Again, we go back to the time-honored tradition. Bring it all home. Let mom and dad take a look at it. Let some grown-up take a look at it before you bite into it. I know kids are excited. If they're going to eat on the fly, which is okay as well, and we get that they're excited, just have somebody look at it. Or if you're the parent or grown up with them, look over their shoulder as it's going in the bag. Just make sure it's not compromised. We've been very fortunate in our community, in the surrounding communities for quite some time, but you know that's the reason. You know, everybody's safe.
From the Burlington Police Department, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
As you've likely seen, there's been a large number of creepy clown sightings this year. Pranksters dressed as scary clowns, either walking around trying to appear ominous or even chasing after people. While he was at the police department, Robert asked Officer Scipiletti for his take on the prank and what might happen should someone try it in Burlington.
They're not smart, you know. Some people are doing this now to be funny and copycat, if you will. And that's not a good thing. You know, there was one a couple of towns over a couple days back, and that just creates a little hysteria, gets people nervous. Now somebody pulling a prank like that could be arrested for disturbing the peace, even if they didn't have bad intentions. Just the act of showing up in that type of a costume with all that's going on. So at the police department, we're not too happy with it. We'd advise people to stay away from pranks like that. Obviously, there's easier and more fun things that you can do that won't get you in trouble.
The scariest thing at this year's...
On a side note, some professional clowns are lamenting the fact that these events are ruining business for professional clowns, with the children now being scared to death by them. Some more Halloween news. Last weekend, the Burlington Recreation Department, the Rotary Club of Burlington, and the Burlington High School Rotary Interact Club held the annual Spooktacular event and haunted house at Simons Park. BNews reporter Corey McNeil was there, and CMAC has this report.
The scariest thing at this year's Halloween Spooktacular almost turned out to be the weather. When asked what type of witchcraft was used to cast away the rain, the head of the rec department, Brendan Egan, had this to say.
No witchcraft, no witchcraft. Just a lot of good faith in Mother Nature that it would stay very calm for us during the event.
Like Truck Day, the tree lighting, and the 4th of July parade, the Halloween Spooktacular is among Burlington's favorite holiday traditions.
Spooktacular is an event co-sponsored by the Burlington Recreation Department and the Rotary Interact and Rotary Clubs in Burlington. We have Rotary Interact students manning all of our games in the haunted house behind us as well.
Lindsay, what's going on here today?
We have a little toss game that you throw the animals in the bucket, and if you get 3, you get a piece of candy.
How are the participants doing?
They're doing very well. There's a winner every time.
And we have cookie decorating. We have Be Good Burgers is here with their shake truck. And then we have TD Bank sponsored pumpkins for the event. So decorate your own pumpkin as well, and we have a nice big bonfire down on the softball field. My favorite thing about Halloween would have to be all the different costumes. It's just a fun time. Kids are dressed up out there, enjoying a ghoulish evening.
Yeah. Hello, I'm here from the bonfire, and this is my costume.
What is your favorite thing about Halloween?
The candy and scaring people a lot.
What else about Halloween is your favorite things?
Candy.
Candy again.
Candy! Wearing masks, scaring kids, making them cry.
Of course, the scariest thing at the Spooktacular is the haunted house. And what event is this?
Spooktacular.
And what event is this at the Spooktacular?
The haunted house.
And
It's very scary.
What is the survival rate among the people who participate?
Very rare.
Very rare.
Very
okay.
rare. I think you should go in.
Okay, guys, if you're watching on BCAT Live, bye.
Reporting from the scariest place in Burlington, Halloween Spooktacular 2016, this is Corey McNeil. And from all of us at BNEWS, happy Halloween.
A European fashion retailer is set to open up in the Burlington Mall during the holiday season. Primark, a fast fashion retailer out of Ireland, says it will open its newest store in the mall on December 7th. It will be located on what was the second floor of Sears. Primark opened its first U.S. store a year ago in Boston's downtown crossing. According to the release, the store plans to hire 200 people for permanent positions and additional 100 for seasonal jobs at the location. According to the retailer's website, Primark offers a diverse range of products, stocking everything from baby and kids to women's, men's, homeware, accessories, beauty products, and confectionaries. It opened its first store in Dublin in 1969 under the name Pennies, and today operates 300 stores in 11 countries across Europe and the U.S. We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown and our Weather Center for this week's forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Ian Casciola to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone. This is Peter Brown with a look at your weather forecast for the upcoming period. And if you can believe it, we're actually almost to Halloween. Can you believe that we're actually looking at the first week of November starting up? That's really incredible how fast the time's been going by. But as we start out our period, look at this starting on Friday. We're actually going to see temperatures starting out in the low 50s, and we're going to introduce a chance of rain. So it's going to be a little bit cool and a little bit raw around here. So really not the most pleasant of feeling days. It's really going to feel like a late fall day, that's for sure. And of course, the one thing that you can notice about this time of the year is look at how late the sunrises are getting. We're well almost to 7:15 in the morning when the sun comes up. So that's for sure. The days are really, really shortening up now at this point. As we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about what's going to be going on with our weather for the upcoming period. As you can see right here, this may look a little bit scarier than it actually is. We're going to actually have a weather system moving through our area on Friday, and this is going to be early Friday morning, and we may actually pick up some very beneficial rain here in the Burlington area. So that's something that's really going to keep alleviating our drought. We're actually getting further and further away from that extreme category, so that's something great. But if you're traveling tomorrow morning anywhere up into northern New England, look on this map. We actually have a chance of some snow showers up here, so not much accumulating, but if you're going that way, just keep that in mind. But as soon as this storm system passes us by on Saturday and into the rest of our weekend, going to be a little bit cloudy out there, but we're actually going to bring in some fairly pleasant conditions coming up when we get towards Halloween and towards the start of November. Now, I mentioned a little bit about our drought earlier, and I want to just update you on that a little bit here. As you can see on this graphic, this red area, which we've been focusing on here in the Burlington area and actually a large part of Massachusetts for most of the late summer, it's actually starting to shrink. This was actually all the way down to Cape Cod, actually maybe 5 weeks ago or so, but we've gotten some very good rain from some storms that have come by. And slowly but surely, the drought is getting less and less intense. So that's something that we really, really needed to see as we go into winter, which is actually sometimes can be our driest season of the year. So that's great news on that front, that's for sure. And as we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about our weather again coming up here. Of course, Monday, everybody knows all the trick-or-treaters will be out in Burlington going door to door, and we're going to actually have some beautiful weather by time we get to Halloween. Unfortunately, we're going to have to get through some kind of murky conditions here on the weekend, but temperatures are definitely going to be moderating, so away from these chilly 40s that we've seen the past few days here. And as I said, by the time we get to Monday, Halloween, when you're out trick-or-treating with your kids, it's going to be getting a little bit chilly, so you're going to have to make sure the kids have some, nice warm coat on, because we're going to see temperatures falling down to the 30s by sunset. But as we go on then towards the end of the period, look at this, we're going to have sunny skies again with maybe just a few chances of clouds, and temperatures moderating up into the 60s. So we're really going to see a beautiful start to November as we go ahead. So I hope you get out there, everyone. I hope you have a happy and safe Halloween and enjoy that great weather that we're going to have on Monday.
Hello and welcome to your community calendar. Are you looking to get rid of your old junk? On Saturday, November 5th from 9 to 1 p.m. at the Marshall Summons Middle School, the Burlington Community Scholarship Foundation is holding an indoor yard sale. Reserve your table today of 5 feet to 30 inches for $25. Space is limited. Everyone is welcomed. The event is free, and don't forget to bring money. Parents, do your kids like appliances? On Saturday, November 5th from 11 to noon, the Burlington Public Library will be having an event called Tech Take Apart. Children will get to see what's inside machines, appliances, and electronic devices. Use real tools to put them back together, or even make something brand new. The event is best for kids in grades 3 and up. No registration is necessary. The event is free. For more info, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. Are you ready to catch Tom the Turkey and his feathered friends? On Saturday, November 19th at 1 p.m., the Burlington Rec Department is holding a Tom the Turkey hunt. Participants will be given a packet of clues and go around Burlington finding the Toms. If you are lucky enough to bag one of these feathered friends, you'll be awarded a certificate for a free turkey from Roche Brothers. Everyone is welcomed. The event is free. Pre-registration is required. The registration deadline is November 14th. For more info, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1695. This has been your community calendar. I'm Ian Casciola. Back to you in the studio.
The regular fall sports season is coming to a close. We go now to BNews sports reporter Matt DiMarzio to see how the Red Devils are faring at the end of the season.
Hi everyone, this is Matt DiMarzio here for your weekly sports report. It's now a waiting game for several Burlington High teams as they await their playoff marching orders. In all, 4 Red Devil teams made state tournament play this fall. The BHS golf team has already finished its season. The Middlesex League Freedom Division champs ended up 6th in the North Sectional Tournament last Monday, wrapping up another fine season. The Burlington's other teams are waiting to see who and when they play. The volleyball team enjoyed perhaps its best regular season ever, coming just short of winning the league title. But the Red Devils will be a force to be reckoned with in the tournament. The girls' soccer team is one of the best stories of the fall, qualifying for the state tournament for the first time in several years. Caitlin Germain's team had some big wins down the stretch to lock up the trip to the playoffs, including a 1-0 win against Lexington. The boys soccer team was on the brink of qualifying as the week started, and last year's league champs will be a tough assignment for anyone in the state playoffs. Coach Matt Jackling's group was competitive in a very tough Middlesex League this season. The season has ended for the cross-country teams. Monday, both the Red Devils boys and girls will be at Woburn Country Club for the Middlesex League Championship meet. Football season hasn't ended yet either. The team hosted Wilmington during a stormy home game last Friday. Let's take a look at the highlights.
During a wet and rainy Friday night, as the Devils were searching for their first win at home this season, the Devils did not hesitate, scoring minutes into the first quarter as quarterback Dylan Bonfilio took it to the house for the touchdown, giving the Devils a 6-0 lead. Unfortunately, the kick after was missed. The Devils came right back with a gorgeous 86-yard run from Kyle Forster, giving the Devils another 6 points. Burlington then got risky, trying a 2-point conversion. The next play, which was eventually caught by Forrester with a dump pass by Bonfilio to give the Devils a 14-0 lead. After a flash flood warning and lightning, the game was rescheduled to Saturday morning, starting with the second half. Same score. The Wildcats finally broke through the Burlington's defense, punching it into the end zone for a touchdown on a QB sneak. The kick was good as well. The Burlington Red Devils escaped with their first win at home, ending the regular season with an unfortunate 2-5 record, as the Devils enter the playoffs next week against Arlington.
After beating Wilmington last week, the Red Devils are back on the field Friday night to host Arlington at 7 o'clock. Arlington comes into the game without a win this season, so Burlington still has a chance to finish with a 500 record with a win in its final 3 games. Let's see if they can do it. We hope for the best. That's all for sports. I'm Matt DiMarzio. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Finally this week, a reminder to stock up on reading material for the winter and support the Burlington Public Library at the same time. The Friends of the Burlington Public Library are holding its annual fall book sale this weekend. Thousands of previously read books, audiobooks, DVDs, and music CDs are offered for purchase at a very modest price. Choose from the general fiction, history, biography, travel, health, computing, home improvement, hobbies, and more. There's always an extensive collection of books, puzzles, music, and films for children as well. The sale runs from Friday night through Sunday, and on the final day you can buy a paper bag full of books for $5. Also, you have an opportunity to join the Friends if you so choose for only about $10. Okay, where are we going here? That's it from the news desk here at BNews Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with BNews Director Rich Hosford, Corey McNeil, Robert Paris, Peter Brown with the weather, Matt DiMarzio with sports, and Ian Casciola with the Community Bulletin Board. Thank you for joining us.